Ruby, they have G.
Ming.
Listen to me. It was a tiger claw, Ruby. They have G.
I'll find him.
He's a good kid, Ruby. You know that.
I know.
Oh. He's a dragon's breath. The triumvirate. Stop them, Ruby. Don't let them hurt you.
I won't. I promise.
You've gone mad. First it's Ackers, which was insane to begin with. Now it's Pelham and his mates.
Mate, Junli is dead.
Oh, Christy, Ruby, this isn't like the Dublin Marauders. These guys don't just go away.
Can you help me or not?
Do you know what you're asking?
I'm asking for your help. I've given you the details. Do I have to give them to you again?
No. You don't.
Listen, I don't want to get you mixed up in this any more than I have to. Just tell me where I can find Pelham, and I'll do the rest.
You realize you attack one, you attack all.
Oh, I'm counting on it.
Of course you are. I need to start the boat. There's a cannery on the east side. Harbour area. It's where the Tiger Claw is setting up their temporary base. They can house a small army in there, from what I can remember. You want Sorrell? He should be here.
What about Pelham?
Dunno. Couldn't find anything out about Pelham. But word's gotten back about Junli, and people are not happy about it.
That it?
Yeah, that's about it. Be careful.
Anyways, welcome to the English Cannery.
Man, I hope this game ends like A Dog's Life where you push the villain into a canned food maker.
Hey, spoilers. Let's not ruin the sanctity of A Dog's Life. Anyways, I think this is how all docks are set up in England, as inefficiently as possible. You have to do this to get to the actual part of the docks where you can walk.
I do like Ruby just like magnetizing to like the top of that after doing all those flips.
Yeah, no, look, she's just got great hops. And so the game will throw you right into there if you're not like paying enough attention or if you just feel the flow. But this is the one hazard that you don't die by falling in.
I was going to say that I'm genuinely surprised that you didn't die from that, but I guess they must have tried this at some point and realized that, okay, if you did actually die here, a lot of people would just say fuck this and not actually finish this part.
Right, it would suck.
And I think it should be like Assassin's Creed where it's like Ruby never learned how to swim.
But yeah, so water's the one hazard that won't kill you. I assume that has something to do with the eponymous title, Wet.
Well, it wouldn't be an accurate title if you didn't drop into the water at least once.
Right, exactly. You're required to do that or otherwise the game freezes. We've also reached the point where the sword has become infinitely less useless than it has been already. It now takes 4 kills and you only have 4 hits to kill and you only have a 3-hit combo. And we're mostly powered up on it, so it's just like, I guess if you aren't fully maxed out, you just like, you've lost another tool out of Ruby's toolbox.
Well, no, shooting is part of a combo now.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel there's always something weird about these realistic-ish shooters. When they just, like, kinda up, like, the enemy's health. Like, when you get, like, further into the game,
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I don't think the bulletproof body armor they have is also protecting them against a sword, but what do I know?
Right, I remember playing one of the Killzone games, and, like, the final boss was just, like, a dude. But, of course, like, he can survive, like, 20 shotgun shots to the face.
That's just modern military strength.
Yeah, I don't know, that's realistic. That's just how we do Char. It's Dutch gaming at its finest.
Yeah.
It's also just a weird design decision overall in that, like, okay, so when you do your upgrades, it feels like, oh, I'm getting, like, an upgrade to make my bullets hurt more. My bullets are harder now. But it turns out that, oh, that doesn't actually do anything because everyone's health just gets higher, so it's just, like, a mandatory thing you actually should do in order to make the game not fucking suck in later levels.
Right, it just makes you feel exactly the same by the end of the game. You just have, like, slightly more guns.
Yeah, it's a weird, kind of bad design decision overall.
Yeah, that's always, like, a weird thing with, like, RPGs, where it's like, if you're playing at the pace the developers want, like, nothing actually changes.
Yeah.
You just get more tools.
How late into the game's development do you think, like, the movie stuff was added? Because it feels a little tacked on.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is sometimes they tell you exactly what you're gonna do. They're talking about fireworks shows. We're gonna blow some shit up. It feels like one of those things that, like, it was conceived of at the beginning, and I just don't think there are enough to fit enough, like, grindhouse-style events, so they just sort of started putting other ones in. Like, I don't know what Chili Dilly had to do with us being in London.
Yeah, I don't know. It really, whether it was the intent or not, it very much feels like something they put on towards the end to make the game stand out more, because without the grindhouse stuff, like, that is maybe the one kind of unique question mark, quotation marks kind of thing about this game, because otherwise it is pretty fucking genderless just overall. Like, it is kind of bland in a lot of ways.
It's a real lax pain.
Thank you. It's time for another one of Ruby's classic jumps that just splat right on the floor.
You know, I think I do disagree. I think, despite the fact that this is still kind of a generic 360 shooter, I do think it has a style to it, but not necessarily a style that I think you can really execute well during this period of gaming.
I think it's a style that they can't sustain, I think, certainly.
Yeah.
Like, the big problem, I think, essentially is with making, like, a Groundhouse game set in this generation of gaming, is that every fucking game, like, during this generation was textured like a Grindhouse movie anyway.
Right. And this is something that you don't get to see a lot because there just aren't weapons that do this besides the crossbow. I do appreciate that when the enemies are dying, they're still a physics object, so they'll still bounce around when you explode.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, though, like, I wish that there was more of that. Like, I feel like that would play into the aesthetic a lot better, talking about it kind of feeling, you know, less inspired. It's like, you could really play that up and make it more extreme and make it more, like, Kill Bill-ish, right?
Yeah, I've never seen a game try to replicate squibs, and I think that that's a real shame.
Right?
But yeah, like, I feel like this game doesn't feel super grindhousey, though, because, like, sure, they've got, like, this kind of over-the-top action, but, like, one thing I associate Grindhouse with is, like, a specific time period, which this game clearly is not set in, which is so weird.
I feel like this was very much an era where everyone took Grindhouse to mean that one Tarantino movie, and that's just everything that it became, really. Like, I think this was basically around the time where House of the Dead Overkill came out, and that was very much also going into the Grindhouse kind of aesthetic.
Exact same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like House of the Dead Overkill feels very much like this kind of same thing, but also a little bit like Kevin Smithy and the writing.
Yeah. That game definitely went more into the comedy aspect of Grindhouse, like, definitely played more on the absurdity of it.
yeah. This one just wants you to feel epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, I played that game pretty recently. It's not a great game. It's just a very,
I cannot imagine it holds up very well.
like, it's just kind of, like, a shame, because, like, I really like House of the Dead, like, 1, 2, and 3, but, like, that game is, like, there are 2 types of enemies. Have fun.
And it also, in some way, like, I always had the issue with it of it was very campy, but in the way that it was very much, like, winking at you the entire time, and that makes it completely not work.
Yeah, like, like, I found the writing to be fine. Like, it's not amazing, but it's fine enough. It is, like, clearly going for something. I don't think they achieved it, but it is different than the some things I see a lot.
Yeah.
I think a thing with House of the Dead Overkill is that I feel it's kind of a problem with light gun games made by a lot of, like, more Western devs, where they think light gun games were solely, like, aesthetical, instead of also, like, very video gamey.
Right.
Yeah, they thought light guns was just, you point a gun at the screen and the game's fun now.
Yeah. Which, granted, I have definitely played a lot of Time Crisis when I was younger, and that was very fun, but...
Okay, but Time Crisis is well designed.
Yes.
And we also know that light gun games are held up strongly by aesthetic, given our previous videos.
Oh, yeah. Clearly the best in the business was American Laser Games. And they really
Agreed.
should really
Max.
make a Mad Dog McCree Overkill, I think.
Sorry, I'm glad the fat British guy is here again.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no,
There
that's
we
who
go.
we're chasing down today.
Great.
He's the one who runs the cannery.
Honestly,
so glad.
I'm a little surprised he's not a rat boy.
Well, we don't know that yet. We haven't seen what his weapon of choice is.
That's right.
We gotta see if he moves into position once he's been shot enough times.
Right. But we gotta reach him first. He's got a lot of other guys
your
in the way.
bullets with his machete!
Yeah, so some enemies will block your bullets and also have, like, big metal masks on that also stop your bullets from killing.
And that also just reminds me of, this is basically around the time where, like, Army of Two came out, which was also in the time of cool paramilitary, or hey, we think paramilitary is very cool, before
Right.
we rightfully so started thinking, wait, no, that's not a good thing. Wait, hold on.
The peak of that generation was, like, the Blackwater Kinect
God.
game.
Fuck, right, that exists.
You know what? I bet you guys would think paramilitaries would be cool if they had Rat Boy in them.
You know, I feel like that's a tough choice. I feel like that's a betrayal of the Rat Boy code. Which, I mean, we all know the rules of. I don't think we need to elaborate on them. But I don't think Rat Boy would be a paramilitary agent.
Oh no, I absolutely think Rat Boy would be committing, like, crimes in Nicaragua in the 80s.
Oh, sure, but on his own. I don't think attached to the military.
Yeah, like, he chose no side, he's just doing crimes.
Yeah, he's just causing
that-
problems.
It's
that
in his
was
nature.
Rat Boy. Like, that was his spring break.
Yeah, that's just time off from being a rat boy. I think also a recognition of the fact that there are way too many exploding barrels at this cannery is that they just feed you alcohol like everywhere.
Yeah.
Also, Ruby, you're in the middle of a gunfight. You don't have time to do trick shots.
So, Chorps, I do have a gameplay question.
Yes.
With the guys now blocking your shots with machetes and having mass, do the crossbow bolts penetrate that?
I think they do, or at least they do more damage, right? Like, they'll get through the mask faster.
Yeah. So, I think they probably meant to do that in this later part of the game to try and, like, hint at you of, like, oh, use the crossbow.
Yeah, the problem is the crossbow has 10 bullets.
Also, I like your voice for the game developers. Oh, use the crossbow. Be a little naughty.
That's what they sound like at Artificial Mind and Movement. Now Behavior Interactive.
Oh yeah, they are like French-Canadians, so they do sound like Muppets.
Yeah.
Playtime's over!
Anyways, they brought in the reinforcements. 3 guys! The third one will be coming shortly. He got blocked. He was in the bathroom. Yeah, it's definitely like, as you get further in, you are meant to take advantage of more weapons. You know, your pistol, while infinite ammo, is just not as effective.
Also, wet pins.
Thank you.
Ooh, this is a hallway. Oh, I knew it!
Oh my god, there was a 4th guy. He was also stalled in the bathroom. He had to go after the other guy. And he just made it bad for everyone, I think.
There's just a very certain shape of hallway that signals that, oh no, it's time.
That's right.
I like how you weren't even in that hallway once gameplay started.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's kind of like time dilation, it's space dilation. Like, eventually all hallways just feel like a doorway to you.
It's an in-between space a little bit, you know.
Right, yeah.
Like, if ever something doesn't make sense, that's just a reference to Grindhouse. That's just how it was.
Yeah. God, what was the movie that kind of had this color scheme, but just more black, white, and red, and like more on the black and white?
Sin City?
Sin City, right.
Yes. Why didn't they make a video game of that?
They did. It was called...
Mad World.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
You're right. How can I be so mistaken?
Basically the same.
I almost said Anarchy Reigns, because I'm...
Yeah.
You're a fool.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense, right? Sin City, Mad World. They're 2 locations in the same liminal space. Yeah, I just like watch the way that these guys explode in this one, and I still think like they could have really upped the comic action of killing people in this to make it stand out a bit more. Like, it feels like too grounded, even now.
Yeah, like, really, a Grindhouse game, I feel like needs, like, a limb dismembering system, especially when you have a sword.
Right. Well, that's very interesting, because I did actually notice, in this section specifically, a limb does get taken out, and you'll have to check in real quick to see that. It's kind of a blink and you miss it, because it shoots immediately into the screen.
Chirps, you're saying that in the exact same tone of voice, like I'm worried you're gonna show me Faces of Death.
Yeah, our next LP is gonna be of a snuff game.
No, please.
Oh, we're gonna LP a David Cage game?
That's right. It's a David Cage death compilation.
Man, it sucks that David Cage never made an FMV game.
Nah, I think that's fine, honestly.
I think we're kind
I'm
of
good.
reaching that point. Like, I expect that out of the Star Wars game.
Yeah, like we're going to get like a real-life Jar Jar in it.
Yeah.
Oh man, what if there's a scene in the Star Wars game where, like, you have to yell to Baby Yoda?
Ah, that'd be cool. Instead of Jason, you mean?
Yeah.
Like, you lose him at the mall?
Yeah.
See, because of that one Kinect Star
There
Wars
went-
dancing. Whoa.
So yeah, as you see, they do have a dismemberment thing. It's just like, I don't think it pops up much. Like, I feel like I've katana killed a lot of people and I've never seen that happen.
Maybe that was just a glitch, honestly. Maybe the bottle broke.
Yeah, that
I believe that too. But like, You know, again, it's something you could play up more. Like, clearly, something made it happen. That must have been seen before.
I mean, if your glitch is good enough, you can't just pass it off as a feature. That's, hey, good on you, I guess, but...
Yeah, I think that's a classic of game design. Anyways, I think the Rat Boys in this one, there are more, but, like, they're just very disappointing. Like, there's no entrance for them, right? They're just there.
Yeah. He's also just kind of standing there.
Yeah, I feel like these are just guys who are at work, and he just, like, fits the Rat Boy, like, look and vibe without being a real Rat Boy.
Right, like, their manager was like, hey, can you fill in as a Rat Boy today? It was like, you don't get a pay raise. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like, he's the one kind of managing this area, but that's about it, right? Like a rat child, if that's, you know, if that's the nomenclature for the Rat Boy
A
boy.
rat baby.
Man, Sean asked me to fill in on Rat Boy duty again. Fuck.
Yeah, he had to go out because he had prior commitments or whatever.
Yeah, it's always the worst when you have to close and be a Rat Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, their shifts are hard. He's yelling out to people. There's just him left. Feel bad. Again, he's trying his best to, like, live that Rat Boy life, but he just doesn't have it in him.
I do hate, like, at the end of one of my work shifts, I also walk, like, a defeated Rat Boy to where I'm supposed to die.
Right, yeah, 6 feet to your car.
There we go.
That's what we're looking for.
Okay, well, it wasn't a long one, but hey, the motion was there.
Yeah. You know, he put some effort in.
You know, I hate it when you've had, like, a tough day at work, and, like, you know, you come home with the bus, but the bus is just too occupied. There's no space for you and your dejected minigun.
Right? Yeah, not only do you not have a seat for your minigun, but also you can't do the shamble of shame down the rows because everyone's still standing.
The bus driver makes you attach the minigun to the front of the bus like a bike.
Yeah, like, sometimes, like, during rush hour, you can't bring your bike, but sometimes they do get to bring the bike anyway, even, if, like, they say there's, like, enough space in there, but hey, it's gonna get filled up anyway, but they never do that same exception for your minigun. I think that's, like, differential treatment. That fucking sucks.
Yeah, we should make a party about this.
Yeah, there's just not enough respect for Rat Boys in modern society.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that was also just like an alcohol, and so you're just gonna drink another.
Yeah, just a second one to help chase down the other one.
I wonder if they were gonna make like a bunch of animations for her, like drinking the bottle and then shooting it, and then they didn't.
I get that feeling. I get a feeling that there were a lot more animations they wanted to make that just didn't go through. Like, we didn't press any buttons when we did that, you know? I feel like there would have been something to, like, pull a lever.
Right, that didn't even look like a console you could interact with if there wasn't the thing on the floor. Like the summoning circle for Ruby.
Or the camera angle that just stared at it for a bit.
Who was the publisher for this game?
Bethesda.
The publisher is Bethesda.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know, they got like a shitload of money.
Right, but this does have like the same animations as the Skyrim.
I was gonna say, they could steal Elder Scroll animations that probably would fit into more of these circumstances, right?
I gotta tell ya, this game would be so much cooler if they had like the Oblivion death sounds for every enemy you killed.
Yeah.
Oh man, imagine walking up to a Rat Boy and it just does like the slow Oblivion zoom in and he says something to you.
There should be, and this is not the same game, but they should also be Rat Boys on a Nemesis system kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right, Wet 2, you have like one Rat Boy that follows you through multiple levels.
Like, maybe instead of like Fallout 3, they should have just made the Wet RPG.
Oh, that would have been good.
I mean, this could use like the VATS jibbing system. That would have been pretty good.
Yeah. Anyways, also the cannery's on fire now.
Oh no, this is just the sauna.
Okay. This is just what canneries are like in London. This is where they cook down all of the stuff and, like, heat up the cans that they glue together.
He just opened that door. Did he lock it?
Yeah, well, he opened it the wrong way, which I think kind of broke it.
Oh, maybe it was the fire. It made, like, the wood expand, so it was harder to open.
Oh, that could be it.
Ruby figured she should give the backdraft another chance to happen, you know. Didn't get a chance first time.
Right, make it a challenge. And also she loves that movie.
Well, she likes the Universal ride. She's never seen the movie.
Right. I mean, but you've basically seen the movie if you've been on the Universal ride. Just a lot of backdraft happens. I do like at all times you can see him running through the fire. Just very good.
Not even having to do any of the like acrobatics that Ruby does. He just
he's actually
runs.
just like a huge jinx. That's why all this is happening.
Yeah, he's just causing all of this.
Oh, so we meet again, my little cupcake. And now the hunter has become the hunted, eh? Well, what are you gonna do? Huh?
I can shove this down your throat.
Oh, really? That sounds like fun. And then what?
And then I pull real hard, and as it comes out, your stomach comes with it.
Huh?
And as you lay in shock, looking at your own stomach hanging out of your mouth, you slowly bleed internally, and there's nothing you can do to save yourself.
You're fucking mad. You're mad.
No, I'm fucking pissed. And I want answers.
Ah!
Where is Pelham? This pain is only going to get much, much worse.
Ah! Oh, you fuck you! They're moving in on Akers tonight. That's all I know. I swear to you, that's all I know.
You're a sad, sad little man. You know that? And I should pity you.
Yes, please. Pity.
I should.
Huh?
But I won't.
No.
What did she hit?
His leg. His leg popped off.
What? How?
Very carefully. It was just a glitch, like the arm coming off. It was just a glitch.
Oh, right.
Ruby threw her sword like a boomerang and went around him and cut his leg.
Anyway, so it's time to prep, because we're entering the final level.
Oh my god.
Ooh, I'm wringing my hands right now.
It was you.
Business is business, old man. No offense.
But why, my boy? You don't do that!
She's here.
Damn it. All right, Ruby, come on out. I know it's me you're after. The least you can do is be forthcoming about it. Isn't that better? Mano a mano, tete-a-tete.
Aw, I thought we had something special.
You're like a turd in a punch bowl, Ruby. You have to ruin everything that's nice and good and sweet. Take her now, but make it slow. I want her to feel everything that's happening to her.
Here we go. Where are you, freak?
And so, we have entered the final boss battle.
Face me?
And you know, again, speaking to the weird sort of like lack of over-the-top action, it's just a mocap fight.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
So literally the only proper boss battles we have had this entire game basically have been Rat Boy.
Yeah, I would say Rat Boy's the true boss fight, and all of the like proper boss fights, as it were, are QTEs, because there was the one with the Corrector, who is gone now and will not appear in the rest of the game, but you know.
There was the opera singer, and you shot her with a minigun.
Right, and she was Rat Girl, right?
Right.
Because she had the minigun. So, like, yeah, like, there are boss fights, and then there's this.
Oh my...
why is there no music?
I don't know. It's so weird.
This is so sad.
Yeah.
Like, this is just making me think of, like, wow, the QTE fight of Resident Evil 4 was amazing.
This is where the budget died.
Wait, she had pants on earlier, and now it's a dress again.
Bummer. Sucks for you.
You want me? Take me. You want my money too? Here, take it. Fuck you.
No. Fuck you. Yeah. Close enough.
I know it wasn't you. But still, you delivered him to his death.
I had no idea.
Ignorance is no excuse. But your actions here... Know this. We are not enemies. But we are not friends.
Yeah. Got it.
And that's the end of Wet.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
This might have been the most 360 era video game I have seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, this is on, like, Plato's wall of the 360.
This is the platonic ideal of what a 360 game looks like.
I am so curious how many people on that dev team actually believed that that little bit at the end would actually lead to a sequel.
And like that said, they were planning a sequel. Wet 2 double feature was at some point in production and just got dropped.
Yeah, I got switched to a matinee and then canceled.
It got switched to Matt Hazard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man. I'd rather play Wet 2.
Man, I feel like I had a lot bigger expectations of Doopy Demetrius for the story writer.
This is a game that I feel like you can tell at every point they had like 2 incredibly strong levels that they probably used to show off the game, like their vertical slice, and then they just never had the amount of time or budget available to capitalize.
Yeah. Like, this is very obviously a game that just ran out of budget, considering that ending and also fucking, like, the German guy being there for one cutscene and then disappearing.
Yeah, that happened. Ming tells us, like, oh, please save Xi. We just forget to do that. We just never see Xi again. We just ignore him and go out on our revenge quest. Like, there are a lot of things that are just set up, never followed through on. Guys just disappear. All the boss fights are QTEs.
Yeah. And, you know, it's obviously not one of those pieces of media where it's supposed to be intentional. It feels more like they forgot.
Like, yeah, you can just tell that just, like, something happened and this game ended up, like, being released at, like, 80% complete, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a feature-complete video game, and that's all Bethesda paid for. I almost said Ubisoft.
But yeah, like, you see the first level, and you see, like, the second to last level, right? And, like, both of those are really strong set pieces that use both the acrobatics and the gunplay to be able to show off something that's, like, pretty cool. Like, I think we were all pretty excited on the first level, like, oh, this is neat, and they just, like, failed to capitalize on that for whatever reason. Like, they just didn't have enough ideas, or they had too many ideas.
Man, something about Wet created a lot of production babies.
Yeah, I distinctly remember in the first video thinking, like, I mean, I know this game isn't, like, super highly... Man, Tremblay had a lot of fucking kids, goddamn.
I was about to say, quadruplets for production babies.
How fucking long was this game in development? Anyway.
I love the wet bands.
I distinctly remember in the first video thinking, like, I know this game isn't super well regarded, but this doesn't seem like that bad so far. But very much with the thought of, like, okay, what this probably will end up being is just, this is all this is gonna be, and that is actually what it ended up being.
Yeah. Like, I don't think this game is bad. Like, it's fine. But it certainly just feels like unrealized in a very weird way.
Yeah, like, it's weird that these are the things that they, like, the things that are released are the things they focused on, right? Where it does feel like the boss fights are just an afterthought. Like, they're just like, oh, we'll get to it eventually, and they just didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that was just kind of a problem in this era in general of, like, companies having to get used to, like, budgeting HD gaming and just not knowing how to do it.
Yeah.
I was looking at the characters, and one of them was, the doctor, like, in parentheses, Afro Doc.
That's so cool.
And the one-armed man, which I don't remember being there.
I'm trying to think through, and oh no, he's the guy who's doing the deal with Trevor in the China level. I'll also, to speak to the time this came out, like half the bands in the list of wet bands has a MySpace link, which is very funny to me.
Perfect.
Yeah, I saw one of the singers was Sarah Sin of the band The Creep Show.
That's just what rockabilly's like.
Yeah, that's basically it. I'm honestly, like, I'm not entirely surprised that they actually did remember to put music in the credits, but I thought it would have been way fucking funnier if they have just also not put music on the credits.
Sure.
I mean, one of the songs was attributed to Anonymous, which I don't know if that was actually the band's name, or
they have disowned their sin of making rockabilly in a past life.
Right? But yeah, no, this is just one of those games that you can just see how compromised it is, and it's like, again, it's not a great game, but you see all of the potential in it, because there are moments where things, like, really shine through, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that it got released like this, and then they didn't get to fix those mistakes. But Behavior Interactive made Dead by Daylight now and have $1 trillion, so, who's
Right.
actually sad?
Oh yeah,
Damn.
$1 trillion and everyone gets mad at them.
Yeah.
That's right, they've made the best game that no one enjoys playing.
Right, but they really should put the corrector in as a killer. That would be
That would be
Holy
cool.
shit.
And then Ruby Malone as a survivor, I guess.
No, Rat Boy is
Rat
the
Boy.
survivor.
Oh, you're right. No, it should
Just
be
a
that
team
way.
full of 4 rat boys.
Yeah, like, he does the little limp whenever he tries to get away from the killer.
Whenever they try doing generators, they just rev up a minigun instead.
4 Rat Boys versus Tarantula, and she just walks like that.